answer is yes. We are concerned. I just spoke to Valérie Plante a few minutes ago to update her with the session I had this morning with François Bonnardel. I had a session with Quebec, the crisis, the cell, I would say crisis cell. And right now there's about 1.1 million people that are being cut from services from Quebec, half of which are in Montreal. So it's pretty severe for Montreal. The good news, so to speak, is that 25% of the breakdowns are for 1,000 clients or more, meaning it's very concentrated. The disjuncture have operated, so we're comfortable that, first of all, there's enough people on the ground. There's about 557 teams right now on the ground. Over 1,000 employees are working towards the restoration. Other people from New Brunswick, I understand, even from Ontario, have offered to come and help. So I think the teams are in place, the resources are there, and it seems to be pretty focused. In 1998, for those who remember, we were talking about transmission line that had problem from Labrador and from James. Me too. It's a different issue here. We're talking about very localized. It is a problem for Montreal, but at least it's circumvented, and I think it's under control. And Quebec expect that a third of the breakdowns will be corrected within 24 hours, and we'll have a point presse later this morning where they're going to, as the day progresses, they're going to have more knowledge about when the connection will take place.
And for Mr. Bonnardel, you're warning people, because people are always tempted to get out the old camping stove and try and make their supper in the house. It's very dangerous. What have you been hearing stories of people doing?
No, it's a term for prevention. We're telling people not doing camping in their house for the next hours, or we are in relation with our partner, different municipalities, Quebec, the Minister of Transport, and we hope, like Pierre said, that people will get back the electricity very rapidly.
Franca Mignacca, CBC.
Yes, hi. Question for Mr. Mr. Bonnardel. Is there anything being done right now in terms of, you did mention that there's two rivers that are they've reached the level of under surveillance. Is there anything being done in terms of getting ready for possible flooding in any areas?
We're not, we will not having any floods for the next hours. There's no rain that we're expecting, and like I said, there's a Rivière-Acadie, Rivière-Châteauguay that are under surveillance. And our security civil team are on the ground to verify and assure ourselves, people, that there will be no floods for the next day. So we are under control concerning these possible floods in the future.
And we did see, we've seen a lot of images, both last night and this morning, of felled trees and significant damage, especially in certain parts of Montreal. Is there anything being done to support people or the city when it comes to, the cost of that damage?
Like I said, we are in relation with our different partners, with municipalities. We will see after this icy storm what maybe be the cost for the municipalities. We'll see after that if there's any demand to support financially these municipalities.
Olivia O'Malley, CTV.
Hello. There are lots of people right now complaining about their power hasn't been restored yet, mainly in Montreal, like you were mentioning. But you mentioned that the work of the Hydro-Quebec teams on the ground is very precise. So I'm just wondering if you could explain a little bit more in detail about what they're really doing so people at home can understand why it's taking so long.
Yeah, well, as I said, there's 1.1 million people without electricity, half of them in Montreal, so it's a large number. There's a concentration. 25% of the outages, there's 2,100 outages, so have 1,000 connection and more. So 1,000 houses or residents per case. So that is very concentrated. So Hydro-Quebec is focused on these areas where trees have fallen or branches have fallen and repair, rewire, so to speak, and then the disjunction can then reopen. So close, sorry. So it is concentrated. There's 557 teams. I don't know exactly how many of those teams are in Montreal. I suspect pretty much half of them, given the size of the outages. So the Hydro-Quebec is comfortable that, as I said, a third within 24 hours. Hopefully the rest very soon thereafter, but we rather wait a little bit before we do that. But they're on the ground trying to kind of get the connection back in the system.
And people are complaining that it's taking they're waiting on hold for 2.5 hours to reach Hydro-Quebec. 911 lines are full. How do you recommend somebody alert emergency services if a power line catches fire or if they're having a medical emergency inside their home right now?
Yeah, the 911 is for security, and maybe François can talk about it, but also InfoPan is live as we speak. Now, there's some areas where they're just trying to understand where the connections are, which disjunction they need to focus on. So within a couple of hours, InfoPan will be able to provide the resident when they expect to be reconnected. I don't know if you want to talk about the...
Concerning that 911, for sure, we had a lot of calls yesterday. There is less this morning because the storm is almost over Montreal and Laval and Outaouais. So I was been telling that there was more people in the centre d'appel d'urgence to support these calls, but right now it's coming back as normal.
C'est ce qui m'a fait cette conférence de presse. Merci, messieurs.
Oh. Are you opening any warming centers for people?
There's two warming centers in right now. One in Kentley, Outaouais, and one in Laval.
Okay.
There may be some others in the day, but we will inform you. Before the end of the day. Donc, il y a 2 centres pour sinistrés.